Hi, everyone. We've got Cindy Bidar with us today, and she's another one of our fantabulous speakers at VAVS, VAVirtuosos.com next week. And she's going to be talking next week with us specifically about your six-figure follow-up plan, how to fill your calendar with clients and projects you love. And I'm excited about this, Cindy. Let me tell you guys a little bit about Cindy, first of all. I met her, I don't even know how long ago, lots of years ago at NAMS. I think that's where I met you, Cindy, because you were...
It is.
Yeah, you were a virtual assistant for David.
For David, yep.
Yeah, so yeah, that was a long time ago. And but now she is a online business manager. She specializes in marketing and systems automation for coaches, digital course sellers, and freelancers. And she's had the privilege of working with some of today's most profitable online businesses as a marketing and operations manager. And I was just saying about David Perdue, he was a big guy in the internet marketing industry, and we used to always go to his conferences and everything. So she's definitely helped train seven-figure marketing teams and overseen the set up and management of hundreds of marketing and sales funnels. And now she's doing her own training programs and one-to-one consulting, and she helps her clients scale their business needs by creating automated systems that improve conversion rates, increase sales, and add more profit to the bottom line. But thanks, Cindy. Thanks for sharing with us today and coming and being on our Facebook Live.
Well, thanks for inviting me. So I'm always happy to jump on a call with you and talk shop with interested people. It's always fun.
I know. I love talking shop. And
I know, I do too.
I do too, but I don't get to do it a lot. So these Facebook Lives, I've really been loving them, talking a little bit of shop and stuff. Make sure, hi, Angela. Angela's been on almost every one of our lives. She's awesome. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask us along the way. But Cindy, tell me how you got started as a virtual assistant. I love those stories and hearing that, how you got started, because you've been a VA for a long time.
I have been. I actually just celebrated my 7th quit-iversary, which is what I celebrate that on October 28th every year. That's the day I quit my job.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been full-time online now for 7 full years. I actually thought it was 8. So now it's I'm going into my 8th year. So yeah. I had a business for about a year before I quit my day job. I was doing content and copywriting on the side. And I got introduced to David Perdue. And I helped out at a couple of his events. That's where I met you. I wasn't actually working for him yet when I met you. I was just volunteering there. And he actually hired me to write a couple of sales pages for him. And I wrote those sales pages. And he paid me, and I didn't hear anything for, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 months from him. And all of a sudden he called me up one day and he left me a voicemail. I was at work. He left me a voicemail and said, "Call me back as soon as you can, please." And I went into total imposter syndrome mode, right? I thought, oh my God, the sales pages were terrible and he wants his money back. And, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. And this is awful. And somehow I gathered up the courage to actually call him back. I called him back on my way home and he said, "I need a project manager. How much would you charge me to work for me 20 hours a week?" And I quoted him what I thought was an outrageous amount of money, $20 an hour. And he hired me on the spot. And the next month I went down to NAMS again, and I was working for him at that time. And he introduced me to Nicole Dean, and Nicole Dean hired me. And I came home from NAMS and I told my husband I'm quitting my job. And that was it.
And so did you just quit it right there and then, or what did you do?
I did not. I did not quit right there and then. We had a plan first, which I highly advise anyone to do. We did not just, take the leap. I said I had been working online on the side for about a year before that. So we had consciously done things like stash away some cash for a rainy day. We paid off the cars. We didn't have any credit card debt. So we were in a good position, and I don't have any kids. So, I don't have that. I don't have that to worry about. It's just my husband and I. So we were in a good position. We had a little bit of a nest egg and no real debt to speak of aside from our house. So we were in a good position for me to quit my job and say, okay, this is the income that I need to replace with this virtual assistant thing. And I got to be honest with you, my husband was not 100% on board. He was a little nervous about it. I have to give him big kudos for actually saying, okay, do it. I trust you, because I was the major breadwinner in the house.
Okay.
He worked, but his income would not support us. So I quit my job, and the first full year we were in business, I tripled my day job income.
Oh my goodness.
So it was a good choice. We did a good thing.
Yeah. And going to conferences was a good thing for you. You got to meet.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, so how many people have you? Karen Thaxton, she was probably at NAMS at one of those.
I met Karen Thaxton actually through Lynn Terry's group. Mm-hmm. Karen Thaxton is the one that introduced me to David Perdue.
Okay, cool.
I can actually trace every client I have back to Kelly McCausey, if you want to go. Yep. If you want to go back a little further, Kelly was kind of she's kind of my 6 degrees of separation for everybody.
I think we have like almost all the beachpreneurs speaking here this.
Probably do.
No, but it's like a lot of people from NAMS, and that's where I've met a lot of you too, is through Kelly, through Alice, Seba, through Lynn Terry, who's a really good friend of mine, like a lot of different people and connecting up. And, we've all met somewhere at a conference in person. So that was kind of cool. Our conference,
I cannot,
you'll still meet everybody, right?
I cannot say enough good things about in-person conferences. Mm-hmm. They are my favorite business building tool. There just is really no, there's no substitute for meeting somebody in person.
Yeah, you just
there really isn't.
Away. It's so awesome. I just went to Tracy Diavro. She's going to be speaking Friday, I think, with us here on Facebook Live. And I just went to her virtual assistant conference in Calgary. And I mean, I've got a Pinterest VA now, and she's going to be with us and stuff. So it's just hooking up in person is really awesome. If you get a chance to go to conferences like that, your virtual assistant conferences, but also your target market conferences, right?
Heck yeah, go where your market is. Mm-hmm. I was not hanging out at virtual assistant conferences. I was at NAMS, and that's where my market was. And I'll be totally honest with you, I was not there to meet the attendees at NAMS. I was there to meet the speakers, because the speakers were my market.
Well, I think that's where I went I wanted to meet Lynn Terry. That was one of my things, because I was following her and I liked her stuff and that. And I purposely went to NAMS because I heard she was going there. And that's how I met her. And now we're like best friends.
Yeah, you guys hang out together all the time.
But it was fun. But it's great to get to meet people and encourage you guys to go to conferences where your target market is.
So I think that we should all encourage Tawnya to take the VA Virtuosos conference offline.
Yeah.
And let's do it. Let's do it a live. Let's do it live next time, Tawnya.
Oh, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Tracy and Iva, they're all doing good jobs with it. So it's just easier for me to attend theirs.
Well, you know what? Second only to a live conference is a virtual conference, because those I can attend in my PJs.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk a little bit about what your presentation is going to be about. Cindy, can you share with me a little bit about what you're going to be talking about next week?
Yeah, so I talk to a lot of virtual assistants. Obviously, I've been in the business for a long time. So I have a lot of friends who are virtual assistants, and I hang out in a lot of virtual assistant groups. I attend conferences, I talk to a lot of them. And the one thing that comes up over and over and over again, and this, of course, how do I find clients? That's
Yep.
the number one question that people always have. How do I find clients? And, I used to think, wow, I must just be really lucky because I have never had to go out and find clients ever. Never have I had to go find a client. But that's not it. It's not luck. It's because I follow up with people.
Yeah.
It's because when I get introduced to people, I follow up with them. It's because I ask people for referrals, and I ask people for testimonials, and I ask people for projects, and I'm proposing things to people all the time. Hey, let's do this. Hey, what if we do that? And that kind of interaction and that kind of being the go-to person who can be the expert and be a real team member as opposed to just somebody that's checking tasks off of a task sheet, that's really going to be a turning point for a lot of virtual assistant businesses, I think, because it's a really valuable spot to be in when you are an actual team member who is proactive instead of just the task doer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And follow-up is so important. And I know you're going to be sharing a bit of stuff like that with us as well. So yeah, let me think here. Any question you guys have about getting clients or how important follow-up is? I mean, Cindy, you're doing well financially now in your business, and that's all because of, I mean, every group I go into, Cindy's going to be in there. I went and joined an A member group the other day. Cindy's there, right?
I know where my market is.
But it's kind of like, it's join these groups where your target market are, and you're going to want to, like, there's people I'll specifically try to target. Like I said earlier, I was targeting Lynn Terry 10 years ago. I don't know. I wanted to get to know her, and I liked what she taught and different things like that. And it's a process. You start to get to know them a little bit online, then maybe you attend a conference, you might get a handshake at the conference. That's another step. Like, it's just a little bit of time, but you really do need to target in and have some kind of marketing plan, don't you?
Yeah, and even more important, I think really it comes down to just being super helpful. I'm not just, if I was in the market for clients, and I'm not, because I'm not taking VA clients anymore, but if I was, I would be hanging out in those groups where my target market is hanging out, like you just said. But I'm not just lurking in there. I'm answering questions. I'm being helpful. I'm showing off my expertise. And I cannot tell you how many people have come to me from those groups and said, "Thanks for answering my question. Can I hire you? Can you just do this for me?" Because they know that I know what I'm talking about. And they've interacted with me a little bit. So it makes that, it increases that know, like, and trust factor, right?
Yeah. And it can be something so simple as just helping out a little bit, maybe takes you 1 second of your time.
Yeah.
Maybe I remember someone, their headshot, it was so big on their website or whatever. And it takes me like 1 second to run it through or Photoshop and make it a certain size, right?
Yep.
And I just did that. And next thing I know, he's my client, right? Because he's hiring me because, oh, wow, that was kind of nice of her to fix my headshot and this and that. And next thing I know, I'm working for this really cool client. But being helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Just, I mean, obviously don't hang out on Facebook every minute of the day because you won't get anything done, but definitely be strategic about that. Go where your client is, not where your fellow VAs are so much, but where your clients are.
Yeah. And Tracy and I actually talked about this at the conference a little bit. We want people to get clients, and you're not going to get them in a VA Facebook group unless VAs are your clients.
Well, right? If that may be true too. If you're building a VA agency, then VAs, or if you want to be a member of an agency, then VAs probably are your clients.
Mm-hmm.
But if your client is a real estate agent, then you need to be in real estate groups.
Exactly.
Or if your clients are lawyers, then you need to be in lawyer groups.
Yeah, that's for sure. Great advice. Let's see, what else can we talk about here? Cindy, it's late for you. What time is it there? 7 o'clock?
Yeah, 7:15.
Where are you located exactly?
I'm in Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Now, see, I've been down to the tip of, well, Delavan. Delavan? Is that in Michigan? I'm sure it is, because I went down, my brother used to live in Michigan.
I don't know.
Delavan, Delav something, maybe.
Not ringing a bell.
Not ringing a bell. Well, anyways, I have been to Michigan.
We like it here. Actually, my husband and I were just talking about this today. It's, it's wintertime. Obviously, it's getting colder and it snows here because it's Michigan.
Yeah.
You're just like, you know what? Why do we stay here?
Is it colder right now, or is it?
It's in the high 40s, low 50s. So I don't know what that translates to Canadian temperatures, but
we're about the same. We're about Seattle weather here.
Yeah.
I mean, we lived
but
up.
You don't get the snow that we get.
Pardon me?
You don't get the snow that we get.
Not in Vancouver.
Yeah.
We're lucky to get snow. We might get snow once in a while, but not very often.
Yeah.
But
yeah. See, we get snow, and my husband and I were talking about that today. I thought, why do we stay here? We don't. He and I work together. He doesn't have a job outside the home. He works with me. We don't have any family here. Why are we still here?
Because you love it.
Why are we getting ready to survive another Michigan winter? Why?
Retirement move plan, not to quit working, but just to move somewhere warmer.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Like, well, you know what? Maybe we should buy someplace in Florida and do the snowbird thing. That would be fun.
Now, speaking of that, I didn't realize he worked with you. So how does that work out for you? Because I have my daughter working for me, and I didn't think it would ever be good, but it works awesome. She's the best I've ever had for virtual assistant.
It works okay. He's kind of like my virtual assistant. He does and he does some client work. So
yeah.
So I hand off some, like I said, when I fired most of my clients this past January, I handed off a couple of clients to him.
Right.
He works with them directly. So I'm not involved in that at all unless he gets, something is not clear to him, then I kind of step in. But other than that, those are his clients. And then I hand off some piecemeal work to him from a couple of clients that I do still have. I do still work with a couple of people. But yeah, it works out pretty well for the most part. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
I don't know if I could work with my new husband or not.
It's we had to buy a bigger house, I'll tell you that, because when you live with someone and you work at home and you work with them, it can get a little overwhelming. You need your own TV rooms once in a while. Yes. Yes. We bought a much bigger house. I'll tell you a quick story. I went to the store. We upgraded from 1,000 square feet to about 2,500 square feet. So, so we have like lots of room here, and remember, no kids. So it's just me and my husband and the dog. So we have a big place. And, I went to the store one time and I left and I said, I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm just going to run to the store on the corner. Well, I ran to the store on the corner and they didn't have what I wanted. So I went down further to the grocery store, and, that was a big trip. And then on the way back, I stopped someplace. I was gone like 3 hours. I walked in the house and my husband said, did you just get home? I thought you were downstairs the whole time. So we go hours without seeing one another, which is actually not a bad thing. Well, we're just looking for our new home because he sold his place when we got married, and now we're living in my apartment, which is like 800 square feet. So it's tight. We've got like
the one television which seems to always have hockey on it. So
Yeah.
we need another TV room, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But,
we have our separate, this is my office where I'm at right now. And
yeah.
I spend the vast majority of my time in here. You can't see it, but I have a little TV corner over here. So, I've got my workspace and I've got my relaxing space, and this is where I hang out, and he's got his office upstairs, and that's kind of where he hangs out. And then in the evenings we may meet up for common TV.
It's so important to have your workspace too, isn't it, Cindy? Like to have your things around that make you feel comfortable, because
Absolutely.
if you're not comfortable where you're working, you won't work.
Nope, you won't. Our other house, my office was a tiny little cubby at the bottom of the stairs, like literally like a little Harry Potter cubby under the stairs. Because that was the only space we had.
Right.
And it was, every time he walked through from the family room to go upstairs, it was, he was walking through my office. And it's so much nicer to have your own space. I highly recommend it if you can swing it. Definitely.
Yeah. I need my room that I can shut the door and just focus.
Mm-hmm.
Other people are different though. Some people can, work on their laptop out on their deck and at the beach and all that. I that's not me, but everything's different, right?
I can do that, but I focus much better if I'm sitting at my desk.
Yeah, so do I. I like my desktop situation too. I'm not a laptop girl, but yeah. So what advice might you give to someone that is starting to think about getting into selling their services online, and maybe they haven't found any clients yet? What would be
I would get super clear on who your client is. Mm-hmm. Who do you want to serve? You see a lot of people, this is a really, really super common mistake. People will start a business, any kind of business. It doesn't matter if it's a VA or if they want to open a restaurant. They'll start a business and they'll say, well, I want to serve everybody. And they think I'm going to serve everybody, therefore I'm going to make more money. And that's absolutely not true. When you niche down, when you get really clear on that one specific person that you serve in that one very narrow niche, it allows you to be the expert and it allows you to charge a whole lot more. That's why you see people who specialize in Infusionsoft who charge $75 or $80 an hour or more. I don't even know now. When I was doing it, it was $75. Maybe it's more now. When you really narrow your focus and you really hone in on who that person is, then that's where the money is. So, and that makes it much easier to find clients. Oddly enough, it's a lot easier to find clients when you specialize like that, because you'll know exactly where they're at and they'll be looking for you. What I see so many new VAs do is they come online and they say, well, I think I'm going to do social media management, and there's nothing wrong with that, but everybody and their brother is doing social media management. So if you can take that and say, I'm not going to do social media management, I'm going to specialize in Pinterest growth, or I'm going to specialize in Instagram, or I'm going to specialize in LinkedIn, and then learn everything there is to know about that platform. That's going to make it a lot easier for you in the long run.
And Angela, who's in the audience, I know you were talking at the forum about what should your lead magnet be. You need to find this out first to know what your lead magnet's going to want.
Yeah. So can we talk about lead magnets for a second?
If you've got a minute, it's up to you.
Lead magnets. The lead magnet should. This is kind of what I do now instead of virtual assistant work. So I'm glad you brought it up. Your lead magnet needs to solve a specific pain point for your ideal client. So if your ideal client, so let's go back to, the social media management thing. If you decide you're going to focus on Pinterest and you're going to be the Pinterest expert, then your lead magnet might be a case study about what different sizes of pins, what results you get from different sizes. Or it might be a graphic that says, these are the sizes to use, or these are the best colors to use, or this is how you write a Pinterest description, or something like that, something that answers a specific problem that your ideal client is having. The second thing that your lead magnet needs to do is it needs to lead your client one step closer to paying you, because that's the ultimate goal. It's nice to build your list, and it's nice to be able to promote things to your list, but you ultimately want that person on your list to pay you. So make sure that the next logical step, or that you can see the path. If it's not the very next step, you need to be able to see the path to get them from the lead magnet to the point where they hire you. So sorry, I went off on a tangent.
No, that's awesome. Angela was just talking about this in the forum, and you just I don't even have to go in and write a post now about it. You've just answered it for her, and she's on the call. So that's
there you go.
That's a perfect ending, actually, because I know we got to go here. It's the bottom of the hour. But Cindy, you have been just such a blessing for us today, and sharing your information with us, sharing your thoughts. We'll have to do another Facebook Live again someday, because they're kind of fun.
I would be happy to jump on a Facebook Live with you anytime.
Yeah.
We can talk list building for virtual assistants.
Let's do that. Okay, we're going to do that. All right, everybody. So you guys can call us on that, because we're going to do that next time. But thanks so much, Cindy. Cindy's going to be speaking with us next week at vavirtuosos.com.
Yes.
The link will be in the chat area here, and we'll get the link in there for you.
And I think I'm on next Friday. I'm super excited. I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't spoken at VA Virtuosos, I think, in 3 years, maybe it's been.
Well, I'm not sure how long it's been, because we do it twice a year, so it might be even less than that, but
might be.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to hanging out with everybody again.
Yes, and thanks again, Cindy, for sharing with us today. And everybody, this is Cindy Bidar, and now you know everyone. Who she is, and you'll see more of her next week at the conference. So hopefully you'll come to our online conference. All right, Cindy, thanks so much.
All right. See you guys.
Bye. Trying to end it. It's not doing its thing. It's